slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ, God, he forgave you. God restored Eli's life. He embodied the fruit of the Spirit. He knew that when he was forgiven much, he was going to love much. Ecclesiastes 7:2 says, "It is better to go to a house of mourning than to a house of feasting or partying. For death is the destiny of everyone." The living should take this to heart. Isn't that sad? It's during times like this that we think about what's important. Why am I holding on to that anger in the first place? Why did I not say goodbye? Don't wait for a time of mourning. We usually reflect during a time like this. During every season of your life, be intentional. We don't know what tomorrow offers. Tomorrow's not promised. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll hold on to this resentment and go to bed, and you don't know if you're going to wake up or if that person that you want to let go of that will be there. Some of you probably didn't recognize Eli in the itinerary. He had come so far. He left looking like a teen or young adult struggling with substances, but he came back a man. I love Eli so much. I'm so proud of him. I've served in different ministries, different leadership roles, but the one I value the most is being a mom. It's my priority. It's my first ministry. Thank you so much for all of you who have helped make this possible today. Help bring this beautiful to celebrate with me and my son, to celebrate my son. Thank you. Some of you came from afar. Some of you came from Florida, from Oregon, from far places. If I didn't say where you came from, some of you came from Indiana. Some of you have come from Indiana and took the time out here. Bakersfield, Santa Barbara, all over to honor and be here for me. New Mexico, my friends, my family. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Eli was excited and anticipated being an uncle. He loved children. He was a humble giant. He would be mortified that this was for him. He would say, no, I'll sit in the back. I'll wait in the car. Mom, what are you doing? You said you were going to make this small. I tried. I really did. I don't think Eli knew how much he was loved. Eli didn't like labels, titles, did not want to draw attention to himself. He always wore black or blue, just wanted to blend in. He was an amazing artist. He would paint on canvases that didn't belong to him. Isn't that crazy? And as a mom, I'm like, oh, hero. Yeah. It's not right, but he was a good artist. He played guitar, he sang in private. You only got to hear him when he was in the shower if you lived with him. He played guitar, sang in private. Eli loved anime, loved all music, but sorry, Dan and Joel, he hated country. Eli was kind and respectful and loyal. He held many secrets, probably some he shouldn't have. I remember a time that Joel was having a ditching party. And they were young, and I came home early. You know, a mother's intuition. I need to get home. And I'm coming up the stairs, and I see kids jumping out of the window, running down the street. And there's little Eli, and everybody else is hiding. And I said, Eli, where's your brother? Because I knew it was Joel. See, what had happened was, I said, where's your brother? And he wouldn't tell me. And I said, tell me where he is. And I regret this to this day that I spanked him because he was holding his brother. He knew where his brother was at. And he was looking at me with embarrassment and like, Mom, don't do that. And I said, tell me where your brother is. And all of a sudden I heard rustling in the closet. I opened the closet and one of Joel's girlfriends popped out. And she said, I'm so sorry, Kim. I'm so sorry. And she ran out. And Eli just looked at me. But I say that to say that he held those secrets. Even if it was going to hurt him, he held on to that. So if he has your secrets, don't worry. He held on to it. He wasn't timid. He would protect himself. He had Bo and Joey to wrestle with. He was highly intelligent, intuitive. He had a gift. He would read people like a book. He never studied for a test. He would always pass. He wasn't always figured out electronic stuff. He was never in a rush, mostly late, occasionally lost stuff. Okay, he always lost stuff. And if you know me, you know what that sounds like. Eli, as a teen, eventually found solitude in the same substances his father did. God restored his father. Eli was hypersensitive. He carried the weight of the world on his shoulders. He felt too much, he would say. He worried about me, you, everybody. He was a great friend, but it's crazy how addiction takes all that over. And he ended up in a place of homelessness, and he struggled with God. And he asked me, where is God? We had this debate a lot. We had such a good relationship. We had a debate, but we'd always end with love. And he said, where is God? Through everything that I went through, everything that I've done. Little did Eli realize God was there all along. To the restaurant owner who allowed him to stay in a locked gate with a bench to sleep. To the many people who would offer him work. To the pastor who gave him dignity and let him wash up in the bathroom so he had privacy. To the couple who opened up a sober living and took him in. To the counselor who advocated for him and got him out of jail. Oh my gosh. Many times he was moved up the list to go to treatment by those who loved him. To a friend who actually got him a one-way ticket to Indiana. To the many friends that helped him out of an overdose. To the countless prayers bombarding heaven for his deliverance. To the woman he fell in love with who helped him face his trauma. To the boss who believed in him and helped him excel at work. And co-workers and friends and made him get out of his head and took him to his favorite rapper, made him laugh and enjoy the simple things. To all the family who just loved him unconditionally. To his brother who protected him and made us laugh in tough situations. To the many strangers who would prophesy and minister over him. The last time he was here, there was a missionary that called him and said, I don't know why I need to tell you this, but God has a calling on your life. And just started revealing all the hurts in his life. And he said, God wants to heal you. I think the hardest person for Eli to forgive was himself. He had many regrets. One big one was forgiving his father. Earlier, he carried his father's wallet and ID till death. Yes, Eli, God was there and carried you. It was our constant talks. Eli was resilient. He beat many odds, overdoses, and life-threatening situations. Eli eventually got tired. With the help of his friend Scott, he got clean and sober in Indiana. God was with him all along. I remember one time I was telling him about Jesus, and he said, Mom, you think I don't pray? I just don't like organized religion. I told him in our last conversation, you have faith of a mustard seed. Promise me that when you're in trouble, that you're going to cry out to God, to Jesus. He said, Mom, I said, just promise me when you're in trouble, you'll cry out to Jesus. He said, I will, Mom. I will. He died 3 days later. Eli excelled in Indiana. He became a director of operations and rehab outpatient of sober livings. I remember him telling me for the first time he felt good inside. When me and Joel went to visit him, we were so proud of him. Eli knew he eventually knew that accountability and community of recovery would do. Eli was an amazing, empathetic counselor. He knew what the addict was thinking. Remember, he had his own experience. Eli let go of resentments and gave grace to the world. When I went to Eli's memorial in Indiana, Eli's boss, Nick, showed me an area where they would hang out with the clients, and Eli would always pull out the worst of the worst and spend time encouraging them. Eli would always go the extra mile and take the worst of the worst and pull them aside, as I said. Eli had a way to make you think. He asked thought-provoking questions because he articulated his words well. He had tact. He had compassion, sometimes exposing areas and you need to work on. Joel's friends would tell him, nobody can talk to Joel like that but you. He would tell Joel all kinds of stuff, and me. Eli was, most of the time, you couldn't argue with him. Eli was wise beyond years. He had a way with helping others by being a good listener and encourager. He was a great debater of religion, politics, recovery. He would bring people to church, 12-step, whatever would help them in recovery, even if he had doubts. Eli didn't like attention drawn to him. He helped others under the radar. God carried Eli all along and blessed him with good friends and love. Every now and then I would check on Eli and ask him if he was eating okay. How's your self-care? There's a lot of things that being in recovery is priority, and self-care is one. And he told his roommate, it's annoying how much my mom loves me. Yeah. But I always made sure, and the last words that we had together, I knew that he had relapsed. When he came down, he wanted to come to the baby shower, and I knew, Mama knew he had relapsed. But he was sick. There was something else going on in his body. He went to the emergency. They said he had back pain. His leg was hurting. He said because of the back pain. When he went to Indiana, they said he had pneumonia. And the crazy part about it, and this is the crazy part, is that when the coroner called me after the Indiana mortuary, they said that Eli died of pulmonary embolism and deep vein thrombosis, blood clot in his lungs and blood clot in his legs. Self-care, people. It could happen to anybody. You could get overworked. We help the whole world and neglect ourselves. And but I will tell you this. They say Eli collapsed. I know that Satan sucker punched him. And he collapsed to his knees, and he thought that he had him. And Jesus picked him up. And he left standing. He left standing. And like a ripple effect, he's not here anymore, but Jesus is. And the anointing still flows. You guys are the ripple effect. If you look around you, you're the ripple effect of Eli and how he touched you, either by having compassion, either by giving him something to eat, giving him words of wisdom. Eli is a good example of someone who loved God but struggled. Anybody relate to that? Just want to give up sometimes? I encourage you. Faith is a mustard seed. If you seek him, you'll find him. Thank you for letting me share. But I wanted to, what I do is I like to give back. And Ashley, where are you? Can you come here? And Bobby? These are Eli's best friends in Indiana.